Thank you for watching Zanis TV with the bulletin. My name is Nambula Mwangala and my sign language interpreter is John Chulu. Let's look at the top stories making headlines. President Hichilema expected in Choma. Zambia to host a second Digital Government Africa Summit. And distribution of farming inputs in Central Province commences. Government recruits additional 329 cholera volunteers. President Hakainde Hichilema is tomorrow expected in Choma, Southern Province, to attend the burial of the late renowned lawyer, Professor Kennedy Hasungule, who died on Friday, 13 September 2024, after an illness. Southern Province Permanent Secretary, Dr. Namani Monze, confirmed the presidential visits to Zanis in Choma today. Dr. Monze said President Hichilema will join mourners for the burial at Mamba village in Mapanza Chiefdom in Choma district.
The province is mourning following the demise of the renowned lawyer and academician Professor Kennedy Mijelo Hasungule, who died on Friday, 13 September 2024 in Choma after an illness. I therefore wish to inform the residents of Choma and the general public that the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is expected in the province on Wednesday, 18 September 2024 in Choma to attend the burial of the late Professor Hasungule, who will be put to rest at Manda village in Mapanza area in Choma. I therefore wish to urge the general public to come and mourn the late Professor Hasungule with the head of state in Mapanza, Choma.
And Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Mike Mposha, has emphasized the crucial role that the Education for Sustainable Development, ESD, plays in raising awareness, building capacity, and empowering communities to act for a sustainable future. Mr. Mposha noted that the Education for Sustainable Development, ESD, fosters knowledge, skills, attitude, and values needed to address environmental challenges and drive the transition to a green economy. The minister said this today at the official opening of the 42nd Environmental Education Association of Southern Africa, EEASA, conference in Lusaka. Tizaona Mulenga now gives us the rest of the details.
To address the climate change challenges that Southern Africa is facing, Minister of Green Economy Mike Mposha was guest of honor at the 42nd Environmental Education for Southern Africa Conference, ESA, which will facilitate environmental and sustainable development education.
The Southern African region is blessed with rich biodiversity, vast natural resources, and resilient communities. However, our area is also vulnerable to environmental degradation and climate change. We are witnessing increased incidences of drought, unpredictable rainfall patterns, deforestation, and biodiversity loss. The impacts of climate change worsen poverty, food insecurity, and water scarcity, creating a dire situation that demands urgent and coordinated action. Conference, talking about the effects of climate change, we are at a time when Zambia and also the SADC region has really been affected by climate change. We are having to endure long hours or indeed days of load management in terms of energy, because Zambia depends on more than 85% on hydropower generation. So this, the low water levels, has really affected the energy production. Unfortunately, this is the case in the entire SADC region. We can only count about 3 countries which have a bit of a surplus in terms of energy in the entire SADC region. So More than 12 countries have been affected and are also going through the energy challenges. So it is time to really reflect and speak to actions that will help us to reverse the damage that has been caused to the environment, but also to push back the effects of climate change.
Zama Director General Godfrey Mwenga highlighted the impact of climate change.
In view of the evident impacts that we are seeing of climate change, increasing environmental degradation, and also the growing inequalities in our societies, we are standing at a critical point in time where there are loud calls to work towards transitioning into equitable, just, and sustainable economies. Equally, the need for the cause to be supported by education for sustainable development in terms of our theme cannot be overemphasized.
ISA President was present at the conference.
I welcome the representatives of industry that are also among us, who are also pushing us to think, how is the green transition going to impact the changing nature of work and impact industry? And what is that going to mean for the greening of jobs, all kinds of jobs, new jobs as well as existing jobs?
University of Rhodes professor shared insights on ISA's efforts in transitioning, transforming, and transgressing environmental education
in our work. So what are we transgressing, transitioning from, transforming? What are we transforming from? Okay, why are we doing that? How are we trying to do it? And when are we meant to do it? These are some of the questions I'm going to touch on. And of course, we all know some of this, that we need to transition from linear to circular economies. Green economies must be circular economies. Honourable Minister, I'm sure you're very aware of that. From top-down to co-engaged approaches to working with people, from silos to ecologies of knowledge where we can include everybody's knowledge, from theory to theory and practice in practice, okay? From colonial and unequal histories to decolonial, equitable, inclusive, and more just. These are some of the pathways that we are transitioning on, that we're transforming to, and that we're needing to transgress with more speed, actually, because the issues are.
This year's conference is themed Education for Sustainable Development, ESD, transitioning into equitable, just, and sustainable economies. For Zanis in Lusaka, I'm Tizao Namlenga.
Also in the news, the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, MSMED Permanent Secretary Suweta Mutelo has officially opened a finance fair that is aimed at enhancing access to essential knowledge in SME development. Mr. Mutelo says the ministry is leveraging on collaborations with financial institutions in order to promote financial literacy among the SMEs. More in the following reports.
Access to knowledge on obtaining finances has been a challenge that has affected many small and medium enterprises despite having many institutions offering the service. To address this challenge, government and its stakeholders has organized a finance fair to promote the development of SMEs in the country. Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Permanent Secretary Suweta Mutelo, who officially opened the finance fair, says one of the problematic areas among the SMEs development is mindset change.
The ministry appreciates the MSMEs that have responded to this call today and are in attendance this morning. We are also grateful to the financial institutions that have responded positively and are present today. This positive response is an indication of your willingness to support efforts by governments and its cooperative partners. We urge you all to use this platform to share and exchange information regarding finance and related issues.
And one of the business owners who exhibited at the event said SMEs should not underestimate the value of such government initiatives.
When you're called upon, don't hesitate. come to such gatherings, you find help. You know, most of the time we like withdrawing. We don't want to come out in the open and present ourselves as well as our products. Come to such gatherings, you meet different people, you showcase your products, you also see what other people are doing, and you gain insight out of that.
For Zanis News in Lusaka, I am Raphael Chiti.
Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Administration, Mambo Hamaundu, took time to inspect works on the construction of drainage systems along Independence Avenue in Lusaka. Mr. Hamaundu says construction of the drainage is one of the interventions aimed at preventing flooding and subsequently reducing waterborne diseases in Lusaka. Muna Chivende has more in the following reports.
Drainage systems and its maintenance, if neglected, could pose a threat in both community and healthcare, causing infection as well as emergence of multi-resistant bacteria that could cause waterborne diseases. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Administration, Mambo Hamaundu, took time to inspect works on the construction of drainage system along Independence Avenue in Lusaka and the collection of garbage.
Well, for us, I think as a ministry, it is beyond fighting cholera. It's about improving the general well-being of society in the country. And as a ministry, we had noted to say this particular stretch we are on, the stretch coming from the University of Zambia floods right up to Intercity. In the rainy season, usually it is flooded. And we took up that initiative to work on the drainages around this area, because we did realize to say that if this is not worked on, you know, there'll be a number of challenges other than the issue of cholera and other diarrhea diseases. There's also the issue of the toll that water poses on the roads, because water and tar are really not friends. The tar can get damaged. And as you might appreciate, putting up a road such as this is quite an expensive venture. So what we have done here is to extend the life of this road and also ensure that we deal with some of the water challenges that the people around this area have been facing. We are also looking at Kamwala as being a possible catchment area. The second-class trading area also usually has a lot of flooding, so we are having engagements, discussions with colleagues at Lusaka City Council and colleagues at the ministry to see to it how we can utilize this drain and the drain on the other side to drain water from Kamwala to go into the Bombay drain, so that the water then goes to somewhere in Maziopa, which is a recharge area, which will be improving our underground water as a district that is Lusaka. And generally, you know, it's part of the activities around building resilience, because when you have sufficient underground water, I mean, the chances of boreholes running dry is minimized. So seeing that in the background, you saw there are people who are cleaning, and this is something which was not really planned or structured. But when I came to this place, I realized that this place may be looking unkempt, it's looking dirty. So I thought that we should involve the members of the public, those who spend their days here. They are here in the morning, they are here in the afternoon, they are here in the evening. They're enjoying the shade that is provided by the trees around here. But in the process, they are littering, they are dumping garbage. And I thought that it was necessary that they participate in cleaning this place and just send a message to them to say, we need to maintain our environment, we need to keep our environment clean.
The Permanent Secretary also thanked cooperating partners for their support in ensuring that the environment is clean and safe.
To acknowledge and appreciate one company for coming forth through their corporate social responsibility program, Eco Petroleum. They have provided fuel up to 1,000 liters to enable our Lusaka Solid Waste Management Integrated Development Company to carry out these works that you are seeing behind us. So for that we are grateful, and this is consistent with our appeal as government. We've been calling on members of the private sector to come together and partner with government in delivering development. And in this instance, this company has responded, and they are providing fuel to deal with the potential social problem. Along this area, a number of illegal dumping sites were developing, and what the company is doing today is that they're clearing up some of these areas so that as the rainy season comes upon us, you know, have reduced garbage and therefore will limit the risk of having diarrheal diseases such as cholera.
Meanwhile, in a separate interview with Zanis, Ministry of Health spokesperson Kalangwa highlighted the ministry's interventions in waterborne disease prevention.
I think as a ministry, we are aware that we are almost going into the rainy season. And we know that the rainy season, because of the conditions, is really a risk factor for having cholera cases. So currently we don't have any cholera cases, but we are actually in preparedness mode. So we have put various interventions to ensure that we're not caught unaware, we're prepared. So first of all is to heighten community sensitization. So we have engaged the foot soldiers, the community-based volunteers who go on a door-to-door to sensitize the people in the communities. So we have retrained them or reoriented them and equipped them with the information that they're supposed to deliver to the members of the community, just to ensure that we have high levels of personal hygiene. People know how to treat their water. We know that water is scarce during this period, but even the water that people collect in containers, how can they keep it safe? For example, ensuring that they add chlorine, they boil their water, and also ensuring that they cover the containers to avoid contamination. We are also mobilizing commodities. Some of the medicines required for treatment of cholera cases, the IV fluids. So we have these in enough stocks, just preparing in case we have any outbreak, whether in Lusaka or any part of the country.
Munachipende for Zanis in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Smart Zambia Institute National Coordinator Pesi Chinyama has announced that Zambia will host the 2024 Second Digital Government Africa DGA Summit from 2nd to the 4th of October 2024 in Lusaka. Mr. Chinyama explained that the DGA 2024 Summit is a gathering of ministers, officials and industry experts who are dedicated to driving e-government and digital skills across the continent. Speaking when he announced the DGA summit at his office, Mr. Chinyama said over 550 delegates are expected to attend, with 18 cabinet ministers confirmed attendance. Mr. Chinyama stated that the summit offers another opportunity for industry partners to engage in pre-scheduled meetings with ministerial delegations, ensuring tangible returns on investment and time. And speaking at the same event, Digital Government Africa Summit Media and Publicity Committee Chairperson Lois Saili has assured that the committee will provide the summit with maximum publicity from both print and broadcast media.
It is my honor today to be before you to announce a very important activity that's going to take place on the dates that have been mentioned, the 2nd to the 4th of October, and that is our Digital Government Summit. Remember that this is the only e-government summit that takes place in Africa, and this is our second one. This year our theme is building resilient and secure digital governments for sustainable development. Now, you need to realize that the difference with our conference, which we call a summit, with other summits that take place in Africa, is that for the DGA, we invite the ministers, deputy ministers, permanent secretaries. So it's not a conference that will have your ICT tech people meeting, but it's one of the kind because we invite the decision makers. These are decision makers. And then we introduce them to solutions that are being provided by different companies, international companies. And once they're introduced to these, then they go back home and implement. But the implementation model here that we are promoting is the top to bottom, where the ministers know exactly what they want in terms of a digital solution.
The role of our committee is just to ensure that we coordinate the media to effectively cover this important summit. And I think that we have done. So far, I think we have drawn up the media list from various media houses who are currently doing their online registration. So I think as we did for the last summit, national coordinator, we will be able to provide maximum publicity for this event because we appreciate that this is a very important event for the country. So you should expect maximum publicity for both print and electronic media.
Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Henry Kapata is elated with the pending revitalization of the Zambia-China Mulungushi textiles, which he says will create over 500 jobs and business opportunities through outgrower schemes. Mr. Kapata was speaking when he visited the Zambia-China Mulungushi textiles to check on the equipment that has been brought in from China. More in the following reports.
These are some of the machines that have been offloaded at the Zambia-China Mulungushi textiles to kickstart the operationalization of the plant. Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Henry Kapata, in the company of Kabwe District Commissioner, has visited the plant to check on the old machinery being dismantled, as well as checking the new machinery that has been brought from China. Zambia-China Mulungushi Textiles General Manager Brigadier General Emmanuel Cimenti explains the scope of works being done.
That we received, we offloaded all of them, and this is what you are seeing in here, and the part of it which is outside. Then we have started dismantling the old equipment to create space for what we have received.
Zambia-China Mulungushi Textiles Deputy General Manager Yang Ito says the type of machinery is advanced in terms of technology.
Look at this new equipment is in front of our eyes. We know how good they are. And I'm happy because when the new equipment come, we can create more job opportunities. Besides, with these new technologies come, we can encourage our youth to work hard and study more so that they can have a bright future.
Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Henry Kapata has given the position of government on the project.
So the position of government is that we shall continue to deliver because this government is run by the board of directors who happen to be the citizens of this country. So already here's the case study of the investor here. 20 megawatts like the DC said. 8 megawatts out of 20 integrated back into the national grid. The facility will use 12 and then looking forward to another 80.
And Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Chimambwa has dismissed allegations that the machines are scrap.
I know lately there were a lot of aspersions to the effect that just a lot of scrap came from the 8 containers. I think we've done a tour. I think that will be properly explained and elaborated.
Reporting for Zanis News in Kabwe, I am Tishuke Kaunda.
And on our agriculture segment, government has started the distribution of agriculture inputs to over 162,000 farmers ahead of the 2024-2025 farming season in Central Province. Provincial Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakampwe, who witnessed the distribution of the inputs to beneficiaries of the Farmer Input Support Program FISP in Kabwe, with over 3 million, have so far accessed seed and fertilizer in the district.
Farmers in Kabwe have started receiving subsidized agriculture inputs ahead of the 2024-2025 farming season. Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakampwe, who inspected the distribution exercise at Farmers Nest, found the farmers under the Farmer Input Support Program on a queue redeeming to access the compounds D and urea fertilizers, while others were collecting the inputs. Dr. Mwanakampwe also addressed the farmers.
Mid-September, we are beginning the distribution of Farmer Input Support Program. I can confirm that as of this morning, out of the 162,711, 3,172 farmers as of this morning have already deposited. My message to all the farmers, through you, the media, is that we are pleading now, because government has done everything. It is up to the farmer now to go to different district agriculture coordinators, DACOs.
Provincial Agriculture Coordinator Etambuyu Anamela has encouraged the farmers to start the redeeming process to access the inputs from accredited agro-dealers.
Deposit so that if it by the end of October, that
the beneficiaries are praising government for the early distribution of the inputs.
This is September to Apoka.
Farmers within Kabwe, Central Province, even Zambia at large to say remaining
For Zanis News, I am Catherine Sakala in Kabwe, Central Province.
Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba says the aquaculture is one of the sectors that has received presidential attention for growth. Mr. Mumba indicated that a team of scientists and fish farming experts will be in the province to assess the feasibility of fish farming investment in the area. He notes that even when Zambia is endowed with vast natural water body resources, the country is facing challenges of fish deficit. Mr. Mumba said this when the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC Director General Muwe Mongole paid a courtesy call on him at his office. And Mr. Mongole requested the provincial administration to assist the 6 cluster cooperatives that are earmarked for funding from the commission.
Bodies are in abundance in the province. If you remember, you recall very well, in the old days, Mapla used to feed the Zambia in terms of fish. Yes. It was the major source of fish as a province, locally. But now, the fish in our natural water bodies is gone. The alternative is what you are talking about. You can grow fish, you can farm on the natural water body, we can have fish ponds and the like. So, very soon, there will be a team of experts, including honorable ministers from various ministries, and would want to be part and parcel of that team. Because, yes, areas will be identified. We cannot always wait for foreigners to come and invest in growing fish.
It's our cooperatives that, for rice production. Others, it's vegetable processing, and also is one for fruit, and another thing for sweet potatoes. We are buying the equipment, but we wanted to fund them also for agricultural mechanization. The funding, the equipment should have been given actually late last year. I still remember 1st January, I was here in Mansa. I had a meeting with them, and I indicated to the cooperatives that, look, we can't give you the tractors. You don't have land. And I tasked them to go in their respective chiefdoms to look for land. It has taken too long, and we are getting into the rain season. We are not making good progress. 6 of them.
Also in agriculture news, Chasefu District Agricultural Coordinator Alphonse Kahalawe says the distribution of emergency wetland farming inputs under the Food Security Pack program FSP will enhance agriculture productivity in the district. The emergency farming inputs, which include vegetable seed, maize seed, 2 bags of fertilizer, and pesticides, are part of a broader initiative aimed at enhancing food security and reducing hunger among vulnerable but viable households. Mr. Kahalawe highlighted that the inputs will offer significant benefits to farmers who have suffered from poor harvest due to the drought experienced in the previous rain season. In an interview with Zanis, Mr. Kahalawe stated that the government's proactive response through the distribution of the farming inputs is both timely and essential.
We would just like to appreciate the government for giving our farmers the inputs so as to maximize the utilization of the waters that are in the dam boards, because it's not everyone who had a good harvest. So so and those that didn't have a good harvest, those are the people that we are focusing on so that they could utilize the waters that were harvested in the dambos. So this is a step in the right direction, in the sense that it will more like compensate what they didn't do well in the rain season. If this could continue to others, and we hope the farmers will make good use of the inputs that have been given, so that it assists them in improving on the food security and also income at household level.
We take a short break. Join us on the health segment after the break.
How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on Zanis TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back, and on our health segment, the Civil Service Commission has announced the recruitment of additional 329 cholera volunteers in the public service. Zanis reports that the Civil Service Commission chairperson, Cholwe Beyani, says this is the third phase of the cholera volunteers recruitment exercise, which will see the recruitment of 209 general workers and 120 professional health workers into the public service. Dr. Beyani stated that the recruitment exercise brings the number of cholera volunteers employed into the public service so far to 1,250. He was speaking in Lusaka today during a press briefing on the recruitment of cholera volunteers. Dr. Beyani further said the names of the newly recruited public service workers will be published in the press on Wednesday, September 18th, 2024.
Development brings the number of cholera volunteers employed in the public service so far to 1,250 for the defense of self-delivery. So the new recruits must work professionally, must be the vanguard of change in the civil service. They must negate old practices, old ways of the bomber and Boma. That is out of question. Boma spends money, and that money must be well earned.
Still on health news, Mpulungu Harbour Corporation has rehabilitated a male ward at Mpulungu District Hospital at a cost of over 350,000 kwacha. Speaking at the handover of the ward, Mpulungu Harbour Corporation Human Resources Manager Lewis Sinkamba said the gesture was in response to the request from the hospital to help rehabilitate the ward, which was in a bad state. Kristen Moselo gives more in the following report.
As part of its corporate social responsibility and a way to plow back to the community, Mpulungu Harbour Corporation has adopted some wards at Mpulungu District Hospital. The corporation has since handed over a newly refurnished male surgical ward to the hospital. This development has elated Mpulungu District Commissioner Gihat Sikazwe.
Health is key to economic transformation agenda of the New Dawn government, because you cannot work and provide good health services when you are sick. The New Dawn administration has demonstrated a strong will to say to it that quality health services are brought closer to the people, both rural and urban areas. Government alone cannot provide the required quality services without the involvement of our cooperating partners like Harbour Corporation.
Mpulungu Harbour Corporation has pledged to continue supporting the hospital.
The corporation responded to the request by the hospital to rehabilitate the male ward at an estimated cost of 350,000. We are pleased to observe the successful completion of the rehabilitation project, and we hope that it will serve to mitigate the problem of overcrowding in the wards. We know that several admitted patients will be moved from other wards to the newly rehabilitated ward, thereby reducing congestion in the other wards.
And hospital management had this to say.
It is our responsibility to ensure that we care for the structures which are provided to us
As such, we will ensure maintenance of the facility which is being handed over to us, not only the newly refurbished ward, but all of the wards, and indeed each of our health facilities within the district.
Christine Mselu reporting for Zanis in Mpulungu.
Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga has described the speech recently delivered by President Hakainde Hichilema during the opening of the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly as progressive. Mr. Chavinga says the presidential speech covered critical aspects that are responding positively towards mitigating various challenges the country is facing. Details by Henry Lumpa Jr.
Following the recent presidential address during the opening of the 4th session of Parliament, reactions from various stakeholders in Mchinga province have triggered positive responses. Among them, Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga expressed delight with the strides President Hakainde Hichilema is making towards addressing the challenges the country is facing, especially in the energy sector.
One, it gave hope to the people of Zambia. Secondly, it gave a lot of insights, and especially to us and challenged as members of Parliament, who are deeply challenged, especially in the usage of CDF in some of the constituencies and the councils. That is number one. Secondly, on the energy sector, there's a component of why fuel is very expensive. And I'll tell you for real that we need by all means that we actualize the open access of the use of Kazama pipeline. We cannot have a situation where few individuals, greedy individuals, are using that pipeline to sabotage the country.
The Mafinga lawmaker also commended the head of state for the new boost in the human resource of the health sector.
I was impressed when he said, even this year, government shall employ 4,000 health personnel. Again, the health personnel, it must trickle down. I personally need to see the people of Mafinga being employed.
From the presidential address, it was also announced that Nakonde district will have an international airport established soon. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Mafinga, Mchinga province.
The actualization of decentralization by devolution has spurred unprecedented development in Kazungula district. Kazungula Town Council Chairperson Mbozi Tatila says the district has witnessed development with the coming of devolution. Ms. Tatila cited the construction of schools and rehabilitation of roads as some of the benefits that devolution has brought about. More in the following reports.
The actualization of decentralization is transforming the profile of Kazungula district in Southern Province. Kazungula Town Council Chairperson says the district has witnessed unprecedented development following the implementation of decentralization.
For some of us who are in rural areas where we are able to see things right before us that we are not there, and just seeing the development, I mean, unfolding right before our eyes, it's remarkable. Actually, I'm so excited to be a council chairperson in a rural district because it is easy to appreciate this decentralization.
The process has further enhanced collaboration between the local authority and various government institutions in Kazungula, resulting in improved service delivery to the community.
Yeah, the improvement is there, yes. I would maybe even cite an example. Like 2 weeks ago, we were having an activity where we needed to go and sensitize our farmers on the tick-borne diseases that were ravaging one of our areas in the district. So the local authority was, I think they would say that the same issue of saying bring this service delivery quicker to the people. We pledged in some kind of help which they were able to respond in good time, and we went out in the field and did those trainings for the farmers.
The devolving of some functions from the central government to the local authorities yielding results as evidenced from the testimonies of enhanced service delivery. For Zanis.
As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. President Hichilema expected in Choma. Zambia to host the second Digital Government Africa Summit. And distribution of farming inputs in Central Province commences. Government recruits additional 329 cholera volunteers. That's all we had for you. On behalf of my sign language interpreter, John Chulu, and the entire news production crew, my name is Nambula Mwangala. Thank you for watching.